The desert wind howled through the sun-bleached streets of Ironwood, Texas, a town where the oil rigs pumped black gold by day and secrets festered by night. Sergeant Kira Storm Malone rolled into town in her dented Ford Raptor, its bumper plastered with 3 stickers. GHOSTVIPR. Her dog's call sign 75 Tiaga Hunje Regiment. Geop. Liber, a scratched-out bronze star. Decalite, she was trying to forget it. Her 2 Belgian Malinois, ghost snow-white fur, icy blue eyes, and Viper. Jet-black scar over his muzzle panted in the back seat. They weren't pets. They were MWD's military working dogs, trained to sniff out explosives, take down insurgents, and never leave a soldier behind. Kira's hands gripped the wheel. Last stop before Mexico. She needed gas, coffee, and to not attract attention. Laid across the street, Deputy Jake Riggs, mid-40s, a former high school linebacker gone to seed, narrowed, his eyes at her out-of-state plates. His radio crackled. Unit 12. We got a bolo on a stolen black SUV. Marine vet. Possible PTSD. Armed and dangerous. Riggs smirked. Jackpot. The DINR, the Lone Star Diner, was a relic of the 50s checkered floors, jukebox, and a cook who spat tobacco into a cup. Kira slid into a booth, her dogs lying at her feet. The waitress, Maria, late 50s, tired eyes, brought her coffee. Maria, you ain't from here. Kira, just passing through. Maria lowering her voice, then leave. Cops here. They like making problems for folks like you. Before Kira could ask, headlights flooded the diner. 3 cruisers boxed her truck in. Riggs swaggered in, hand on his Glock. Ma'am, step outside now. Kira's combat instincts kicked in. Ambush posture, 2 flanking, 1 direct. No exits. She stood slowly. Ghost and Viper rose with her ears pinned back. The SDAN DOFF outside. The cops had their guns half-drawn. License and registration. Hands where I can see 'em. Kira reached for her wallet. She's going for a weapon. A rookie cop yelled. Viper moved like lightning. In 0.3 seconds, Kira had timed him. The Malinois was between her and the barrels. Fangs bared a war snarl ripping from his throat. Ghost mirrored him, circling to cut off the flanking cops. The deputies froze. Riggs sweating. Call animal control. Shoot the damn dogs if Kira voice like steel. Viper, watch him. The black dog locked onto Riggs' throat. A drop of saliva hit the dirt silence. Then tires screeched. A black Army-issue SUV skidded in, and Major Daniel Cole, 6'4" inches, salt and pepper, buzzcat, a CIA insignia on his belt, stepped out. Cole. At ease, Sergeant. Kira didn't blink. Viper, stand down. The dogs backed off, but their eyes never left the cops. Chapter 4. The TRUTH. Cole flashed his badge. These dogs have more confirmed kills than your entire department. Walk away now. As the cops retreated, Riggs hissed. This ain't over, soldier girl. Back in Cole's SUV, Kira finally exhaled. Cole, you were supposed to lay low. Kira, I was getting coffee. Cole handing her a file. The cartel's here. They killed your brother, and they'll kill you too if they find out you're hunting them. Kira opened the file. Inside, photos of her little brother Jamal, a journalist lying dead in a ditch. His notes on the Ironwood PD's drug ties clutched in his hand. Her fingers trembled. Ghost nuzzled her leg. Kira whispering, we finished this. For Jamal, Cole nodded. Then it's war. Viper growled, as if agreeing. Chapter 5. The Devil of IRO and WOID. The safe house was a rotting ranch on the outskirts of town. Kira spread Jamal's notes across a dusty table, photos, bank records, and a list of cops with sudden offshore donations. Cole pointing at a mugshot. Meet El Carnicero the Butcher, XL, now the cartel's top enforcer. He's the one who Kira's fist clenched. She didn't need it spelled out. The coroner's report had said Jamal's fingers were broken one by one before the final bullet. Ghost wind. Sensing her rage, she buried her hands in his fur. We'll find him, boy. A knock at the door. Maria from the diner stood there, clutching a USB. Jamal gave me this the night he died. It's the sheriff's voice. Approving drug shipments. Then in the distance, Maria's eyes widened. They followed me. Night of the K9 S4 trucks skidded into the yard. Masked men with AKs poured out. Cartel. Kira grabbed her go bag, tactical vest, suppressed pistol, and a dog whistle only Ghost and Viper could hear. Cole cocked his rifle. We're outnumbered. Kira smirked. No, we're not. She blew the whistle to short bursts. One long. The dogs transformed. Ghost became a white blur, lunging at the nearest gunman's arm. Crack bones snapped. Viper went for the legs, dragging a screaming cartel member into the shadows. Kira moved like a shadow. Headshot, reload. But then a roar of vengeance. More trucks arrived. El Carnicero stepped out, his machete glinting. Rangers die easy. Para, let's see how tough your dogs are. He whistled. From his truck leaped a monstrous cane Corso Reaper's twisted mirror. A dog bred for one thing, killing other dogs. Viper bared his teeth. This was personal now. Blood and SDAL. The Corso charged. Viper met it mid-tears, ripped into flesh. A whirlwind of fur and fury. Kira fired at Carnicero, but he dodged behind a truck. You're just like me, soldadita, he taunted. War broke us both. Boshitsi lunged, knife flashing. Steel clashed. He was stronger, but she was faster. Meanwhile, Ghost took down another gunman, going straight for the throat this time. Rules of engagement didn't apply tonight. Then a shotgun blast. Maria screamed. Cole was down, clutching his side. Kira turned just as Carnicero swung his machete. Wham! A 200-pound furry missile slammed into him. Reaper scarred German Shepherd with one blue eye locked onto Carnicero's arm. The military's most dangerous canine. Now here. Carnicero howled. What the fuck is that? Kira grinned. My backup. The sheriff's gambidon, the cartel, was ashes and blood. But Riggs arrived with the entire Ironwood PD, finally showing his true colors. Riggs smirking. Drop the guns, Malone, or I put a bullet in Cole's skull. Kira's hand shook. Outgunned again. Then a voice from the shadows. I wouldn't do that, deputy? A figure stepped into the light. Sheriff Calloway, holding Riggs' bank records. Because I just got a call from the governor. And you're under arrest. Riggs paled. You're in on it too. Calloway cocked his revolver. Nah, but I do like dogs, Reaper growled. Game over. The desert sun burned white hot as Kira knelt beside the shallow grave. Jamal's dog tags recovered from Carnicero's pocket hung around her neck. She pressed her forehead against them, the metal searing her skin. Should have had your back, little brother. Behind her, the dog stood Sentinel Ghost, Viper, and now Reaper, his muzzle still crusted with dried blood. The massive German Shepherd had barely left her side since the fight. Cole limped over, his bandaged ribs wrapped tight. We need to move. Cartel's gonna send reinforcements. Kira didn't answer. Her fingers traced the bullet hole in tags. A growl rumbled in Reaper's chest. They were coming. The TRAL, the USB from Maria, had revealed the cartel's darkest secret. A human trafficking ring operating out of an abandoned oil refinery. Women and kids, shipped like cattle. Hands clenched. We hit them tonight. Cole frowned. 3 of us and 3 dogs against 50 armed men. That's suicide. Ghost nudged her palm. She scratched behind his ears. No, it's vengeance. Reaper let out a low whine. He knew this place. Kira studied him, the scars, the fear in his eyes when he smelled dieseled out. This was where they'd broken him. The RAF Ironwood night. The refinery loomed like a rusted beast, its pipes groaning in the wind. Kira moved through the shadows, the dogs silent at her heels. Thermal goggles revealed guards patrolling the catwalks. Then a child's whimper inside a shipping container. Dozens of terrified faces stared back. A little girl clutched a torn teddy bear. Kira's blood turned to ice. Viper, scout ahead. The black Malinois vanished into the dark. A radio crackled nearby. Oye, que fue ese ruido? Too late. Ghost lunged. His teeth sank into the guard's thigh, muffling the scream. Kira silenced him with a knife to the throat. One down. Reaper's DMO and S. The deeper they went, the more Reaper trembled. Then they found it, a steel cage, stained with old blood. Dog fur still clung to the bars. Cole's jaw tightened. They fought dogs here. Reaper's growl was pure agony. This was his arena. The cartel had starved him, whipped him, made him kill other dogs until the army rescued him. Kira knelt, pressing her face to his. You're free now, and we're ending this. A shout echoed. Intrusos! Gunfire erupted. Chapter 13. War in the DARC chaos. Ghost scaled a ladder, taking out a sniper on the catwalk. Viper crippled 2 gunmen, his bites surgically precise. Reaper, he went straight for the throats. Kira and Cole fought back to back, picking off cartel soldiers. But for every one they dropped, 3 more appeared. Then a familiar laugh. El Carnicero emerged from the smoke, his machete dripping. I knew you'd come, Para. Just like your brother. Kira's vision turned red. Reaper, fast. The German Shepherd exploded forward, a 90-pound torpedo of muscle and rage. Carnicero swung, but Reaper dodged, clamping onto his wrist. Bone cracked. Kira charged, knife flashing. This time, she wouldn't miss. The last SHOT steel met steel. Carnicero was bigger, stronger, but Kira had hate on her side. She feinted left, then drove her blade into his gut. This is for Jamal, he gasped, collapsing. You won't win. Boom. A shotgun blast knocked Kira off her feet. Riggs stood in the doorway, his uniform torn, eyes wild. Should have stayed gone. Bitch. Reaper leaped, but Riggs fired again. The dog yelped, crashing to the ground. Nitrogen monoxide. Kira scrambled for her pistol. Bang. Snapped back. Sheriff Calloway lowered his smoking revolver. Told you I liked dogs. Silence. Then a weak tail thump. Reaper was alive. Kira crawled to him, pressing her hands to the bleeding wound. Stay with me, boy. The dog licked her cheek. They'd won. The border, are you in the desert wind? Screamed like a wounded animal as Kira gunned Jamal's bike south. Ghost, Viper, and Reaper clung to the sidecar, their fur matted with dust and dried blood. Behind them, smoke still curled from the ruins of Ironwood. Sheriff Calloway's last words echoed in her skull. They'll never stop coming for you now. A black SUV appeared in the rearview mirror. No plates, not cops, not cartel, Worse. Double quotes. Cole, Kira muttered. We've got company. The ex-major checked his 6th Private Military Carnicero's old unit, Los Fantasmas. They don't leave loose ends, Reaper snarled, sensing what Kira already knew. This wasn't over. Chapter 16. Ghosts in the DUSD. The SUV rammed them. Kira skidded, barely keeping the bike upright. Viper launched himself at the passenger window. Gunshots. The Malinois yelped, tumbling into the dirt. VIPER, Kira screamed. Ghost didn't wait for orders. The white Malinois leaped onto the SUV's roof, claws screeching against metal. Inside the vehicle, a masked man leaned out with a knife. Reaper hit him like a freight train. The bike fishtailed as Kira drew her pistol. 3 shots, 3 kills. The SUV veered off the road and exploded in a fireball. Cole grabbed Viper. He's alive, but we need to move. They'll have heard that. Kira's hands shook as she checked Viper's wound. A through he'd live, but the desert, ahead, a killbox. And the dogs were tired. Chapter 17. The safe, OSD, abandoned church, stank of mildew and gunpowder. Maria waited inside, her face grim. You're all over the news. Cops say you bombed Ironwood. Kira didn't flinch. Weapons. Maria slid forward a duffel bag. AK grenades, C4, and this military dog harness. K29 body armor. Reaper sniffed it, then bared his teeth at the name stitched into the fabric. Carnithro. Cole exhaled. So that's why they want him back. He's not just a dog, he's proof. Kira's phone buzzed. A video message. The screen showed a cage. Inside, a sobbing little girl, the same one from the refinery. A distorted voice hissed, "Bring the dog, or she dies like your brother." Reaper let out a howl that shook the walls. The TR up at the coordinates led to a slaughterhouse. Kira strapped the C for 2 Reaper's harness. You remember the drill, boy? The German shepherd nodded. Cole cocked his rifle. This is suicide. No, Kira said. This is a distraction. She pointed to Ghost and Viper. They're the real strike team. The plan was simple. Reaper would play bait, Ghost would flank. Viper. He'd go for the throat. As they moved in, shadows shifted. A dozen armed men emerged, guns trained. Then a familiar face stepped forward. Major Daniel Cole. Sorry, Sergeant, he said, raising his pistol. But some debts need paying. Kira's blood turned to ice. Betrayal. The Pax Jairstacir moved first. He charged Cole, but the Major sidestepped. Firing, Kira took the bullet in the shoulder. Ghost and Viper erupted from the darkness. Ghost crippled to mercenaries, his teeth finding arteries. Viper, he leaped onto Cole's back, sinking his fangs into the man's neck. Reaper hit the detonator. The explosion tore the slaughterhouse apart. Kira crawled through the smoke, dragging the girl to safety. Cole writhed on the ground, choking on blood. You don't understand. Kira picked up his gun. I understand just fine. She unloaded the entire clip into his skull. The howling ROAD'd on. The dogs licked their wounds as Kira studied the horizon. Mexico waited. Maria handed her a new ID. You're dead now, Mia. Best stay that way. Kira mounted the bike. Where to? Reaper barked at the rising sun. She laughed. Yeah, let's run. The engine roared, and the pack vanished into the light. 6 months later, Sierra Madre Mountains, Mexico. The rumors spread like wildfire. A ghost woman rides with devil dogs. She burns cartel stables and frees slaves. Los Fantasmas call her. La Loba. Kira listened to the whispers in the cantina, her face hidden under a frayed hood. At her feet, Reaper gnawed a bow, now missing an ear from their last fight. Ghost and Viper watched the door, ears twitching at every footstep. Then a familiar scent. Reaper's hackles rose as a man in a dusty army jacket sat across from her. Been a long time, Sergeant, said Captain Elias Voss, her old K9 unit commander. His left sleeve was pinned up, no arm. Kira's hand hovered near her knife. You here to finish Cole's job? Voss slid a dog tag across the table. Jamal's no, he said. I'm here to tell you who really killed your brother. The WHISTOLIBOLIVR, the safe house stank of gun oil and betrayal. Voss projected a video onto the wall. Jamal, bruised but alive, speaking into a camera. If you're watching this, I'm dead. The Ironwood cartel is just the tip. The real monster is Blackridge PMC. They're trafficking kids for military experiments. The screen cut to a lab, steel cages, children hooked to IVs and computer. Breath stopped. A malnourished Belgian Malinois puppy with Reaper's exact blue eye whimpered in a corner. They're cloning MWDs, Voss said, turning them into living weapons. Jamal found out, so they fed him to Carnithio. Reaper smashed his head into Kira's leg, snapping her out of her rage. Voss nodded at the dogs. Your Pax, the last of the real ones. Blackridge wants them extinct. Kira loaded her shotgun. Where's the lab? The Beast Factory. Blackridge compound. 3 a.m. The facility was a concrete nightmare surrounded by scorched earth. No guards, no cameras. Too easy, Kira signaled. Ghost scaled the fence, disabling the motion sensors. Viper sniffed for explosives. Reaper. He just stared at the building, growling like it offended him. Inside, the horror unfolded. Rows of cages. Some held kids 10 to 12 years old. Others held dogs or things that used to be dogs with stitched scars and milky eyes. A scientist screamed as Kira grabbed him. What do you want? She shoved Jamal's photo in his face. Who gave the order? The man trembled. Teeth a colonel. Ease in the gunshots. Voss collapsed, blood bubbling from his chest. From the shadows stepped a figure in a black uniform, his face obscured by night vision goggles. Sergeant Malone, the colonel said. I've been waiting for your dogs. The colonel's Gambithy. The colonel yanked off his goggles, revealing eyes as blue and cold as Reaper's. You don't recognize me, he smiled. I trained Reaper before he was yours. Kira's blood turned to ice. Asterisk, asterisk, this was the monster who'd bred Reaper to kill. The colonel whistled a high-pitched frequency. Reaper screamed, clawing at his own ears. See? The colonel grinned. They always remember their master. Then steel doors slammed open. 5 massive dogs stalked out, but their eyes were wrong. Too human. Meet Generation 7, the colonel said. Part dog, part soldier, all killer. Ghost and Viper bared their teeth, but even they stepped back. These weren't dogs, they were abominations. The pack's last Esty and Akira fought like hell. Ghost took down a Gen 7 by ripping out its throat, but lost a chunk of his shoulder. Viper blinded one with his claws, but got pinned. Yelping as fangs grazed his spine. He froze, torn between instinct and training. The colonel laughed. What? She pressed a button. Reaper's collar electrocuted him. Kira emptied her mag into the colonel's chest. He kept walking. Kevlar darling. He kicked her ribs. Now, let's put your mutts down. He raised his pistol at Viper's head. A gunshot. The colonel gasped, looking down at the bloody hole in his stomach. Voss, bleeding out on the floor, smoke still curling from his revolver. Eat shit, sir, he choked. The howling Farad Yoam. Kira crawled to Reaper, tearing off his shock collar. You're free? She whispered. The German Shepherd turned to the last Gen 7 beast and attacked. His fury unleashed at last. With the colonel dead, the lab descended into chaos. Kids escaped, scientists fled. The remaining Gen 7 South tore each other apart. Kira grabbed Voss. We're leaving. He shook his head, pressing a USB into her hand. Asterisk, asterisk, take this to the New York Times. And Kira, make sure they burn this place. She nodded. Ghost dragged Viper to safety while Reaper stood guard, his muzzle dripping with the colonel's blood. The LEJCY-1 year later, Unknown Beach. The headlines had faded. Blackridge exposed. The Pentagon's secret dog soldiers, whistleblower Voss, posthumously awarded Medal of Honor. Kira watched the sunset, her scars finally healing. At her feet, Ghost, now gray-muzzled but still deadly. Viper, walking with a limp but grinning. Reaper, with 3 new puppies, all with his blue eyes tumbling around him. A burned dog tag hung around Kira's neck. Shamal smiled as the pack howled at the rising moon. They were done fighting, but the world would never forget them. 2 years later, Costa Rican jungle. Kira's cabin wasn't on any map. The pack had grown. Reaper's 3 pups, Shadow, Blitz, and Luna, now stood guard alongside Ghost and Viper. The scars were healed, but the fire, still burning. Then a satellite phone rang. Unknown caller, she answered. A distorted voice hissed. Blackridge wasn't the end. We have your vet. Maria's scream echoed before the line died. Kira loaded her rifle. The dogs rose in unison, ears pinned. War wasn't done with them yet. The blood. Trap Mexico City. Abandoned Zutha rendezvous point stank of rotting meat. Maria hung from a cage, beaten but alive. Below her, 5 Jannate hybrids paced, their eyes glowing faintly green under UV lights. Nanotech whispered a figure in shadows. Dr. Aldrich, Blackridge's lead scientist. Upgraded obedience. Kira signaled. Ghost and Viper flanked left. Reaper took point. The pups. Their first hunt. Aldrich smirked. You really think dogs can beat? Kira blew his kneecap off. I think, she said, you talk too much. The hybrids attacked. Pax Latibuceos erupted. Shadow, the smallest pup, leaped onto a hybrid's back. Biting its spinal implant, Blitz went for the throat, his blue eyes flashing like Reaper's. Luna, she herded Maria to safety like a seasoned Marine. Reaper tore out Aldrich's throat mid-scream. Kira grabbed Maria, who's left. Maria coughed blood. The Financier Dubai, Golden Leash Project. A green laser dot appeared on Maria's forehead. Sniper. Kira tackled her down too late. The shot took Maria's eye. The last man behind Golden Leash wasn't military. Chic. Amir sipped champagne beside a glass tank holding a cloned Malinwit's body crisscrossed with cybernetic wires. Beautiful, yes, he smiled. No rebellion? No heart. Kira's drones disabled his security. The pack stormed in. Ghost shredded 2 bodyguards. Viper destroyed the server bank. Reaper stood over the Sheik, growling. Kira tossed him a collar. Put it on. The Sheik trembled. You'd never. Reaper clamped the collar around his neck. Kira pressed the shock remote. How's obedience feel? She asked, watching him convulse. The wild for a Vezant Day. Uncharted island. The world thought Kira Malone dead. The pack thrived. Ghost and Viper napped in the sun. Reaper taught the pups to hunt iguanas. Maria, now one-eyed, tended her garden. Kira burned the last Blackridge file, then tossed her dog tags into the ocean. A wet nose nudged her hand. Shadow holding a freshly killed snake. She laughed. Good boy. As the sun set, the pack howled together, a sound that carried beyond empires, beyond vengeance. Free at last. Loyalty is earned, not CIO. Mayman did. Kira never forced her dogs to obey, they chose her. Reaper followed her after she freed him from Torchu Ghost. Viper could have fled battles but fought beside her. Contrast. The Colonel's shock collars created slaves, not allies. Moral. True allegiance comes from respect, not fear.